and welcome to 10 for 10, 10 sports topics with the News 10 sports team. I'm Griffin Haas, here with Brian Rudman. A little bit different start to the show today. This week, just devastating news, the passing of Liam Gleason, the Siena men's lacrosse coach. He used to play at UAlbany as well, was an assistant coach there under Scott Marr. It's just been a really tough week. And just, it's heartbreaking, gut-wrenching. It's really the only way it can be described.
Yeah, it's really tragic, and you feel terribly, and thoughts and prayers go out to his family and his wife and his kids, and all you hear from everyone who talks about him is just how great of a guy he was. Players, coaches, everyone just speaks so highly of Liam, and it's just tragic.
Yeah, we interact with him a whole lot less than those people do, but over my 4 years of being here and covering the team, he just couldn't have been a nicer guy and more appreciative of having us there and covering the team, and just always had a smile on his face. And we wanted to start the show today by just going to this package that we put together, the story we put together for Liam the day of his passing on Wednesday. So we'll play that.
Situations like this are never easy for anybody, but I think what makes it bearable is you have a great community from Siena, from UAlbany, that comes together and supports each other.
Liam Gleason passed away Wednesday after suffering a traumatic brain injury in a fall at his home on Sunday. The 41-year-old survived by his wife of 12 years, Jacqueline, and their 3 children, daughter Kennedy and sons Penn and Tate. Standing at 6'5" with a heart to match his stature, Gleason was larger than life.
He was just, he was a big teddy bear, and just, it was tough when, I'm a big hugger, but he would crush me when he hugged me. So, he just had, like I said, just a wonderful heart. But his love was his kids. I feel so badly for his wife and his kids now, and we're certainly going to do everything as my family to help them out, obviously.
Gleason met his wife during his time attending UAlbany, playing lacrosse under head coach Scott Marr. He helped lead the team to an America East title in 2007, graduating later that year. He joined the Siena staff out of college as an assistant coach, staying until 2010. He rejoined Marr, his coach and his mentor, as an assistant in 2011.
Just can't say enough about what Liam was as a person, what he meant to me and what he meant to my program, and all the players and friends involved with him over the years. Just a wonderful person to be around. Liam and I did a lot of things together off the field as well with our families, and this is a tough time for our community.
Gleason got the head coaching job at Siena in 2018. He just led the Saints to the MAC championship this past season.
You could tell he loves every player he's ever coached. From when he would call me on a bad day to sending me a photo of his daughter wearing a number 20 jersey when she's playing Little League. It was an honor to be able to be coached by him and to, see what he had to say every single day and see him from both sides as a player and as a coach with him on the staff.
Even if Liam just met you with a handshake, you would remember who he was. He was such a big presence and a vital part of my life, and his impact on the lacrosse world is going to be really felt forever.
It's both fitting and devastating that the last game Gleason ever coached, an NCAA tournament game leading his Saints against Marr and the Great Danes.
I was so proud of him, when we finished our championship game, and within about a minute of our game being over, I celebrated with my team for a second, but I ran to my phone to see if his team had won. And I was just so happy for him, and I know he just put so much work into it. And I was just so happy that we had that opportunity now, to looking back on it, to have that game and for all of us to be together and celebrate both our programs here in the Capital Region.
The Siena, UAlbany, and La Crosse communities have rallied around Gleason and his family. A GoFundMe for his wife and kids has raised over $500,000.
I've had over, I don't even know, 400 or 500 different text messages from people across the lacrosse community, and you've seen the GoFundMe page and the support that we're getting from the lacrosse world in general. Just again shows you what kind of a person he was and what kind of impact he had on people's lives.
A man who brought so much life to those who knew him during his time on this earth continued to bring life to others as he left it. Over 250 people, including his family, as well as the Siena and UAlbany lacrosse families, accompanied Gleason Wednesday for a hero's walk down the halls of the Albany Medical Center, where Gleason's organs were donated to save lives.
That's the power of Liam, bringing everybody together. Two opposite programs that he was right in the middle of. He was truly a hero from the beginning. And as they said today, he was a hero in life and a hero in death, because he's making life better for a lot of people moving forward.
A funeral service for Gleason will be held Saturday at 11 a.m. at the UHY Center. The public is invited to pay their respects and celebrate Liam's life. A life cut far too short, but the impact of the man who lived it and how he lived it will be remembered forever. And a GoFundMe for Gleason's family has raised, at the time of this recording, over $600,000. So to see the community come together the way that it has been truly special. So we'll be right back, but we're going to take a quick break. All right, welcome back to 10 for 10. We're going to transition here to some college hoops. We'll start with the Siena women. They picked up their first win on the same day of Liam Gleason's passing. That was an emotionally charged win. So a big win for the Siena women's team to get their first win on the board against New Haven. I think maybe the biggest talking point in terms of local basketball teams might be the Siena men and just what they were able to do over the Thanksgiving break, to sweep that Capital Thanksgiving Classic, as well as beating Holy Cross to have a 4-win week coming off the Albany Cup. And now they've won 5 games in a row heading into conference play, which starts when you're watching this today, Friday, 7 o'clock against Niagara.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a really impressive stretch. And I think, talking to the team today, we're recording this Thursday, talking to the team earlier today, they still feel like they're not playing their best basketball, which is good. That's exactly where you want to be in December, right? You still want to have room to grow. But the best part about it is they're finding ways to win. And as a team where last year they couldn't quite close games out, they lost a lot of 1 or 2 possession games. For this squad to find ways to win and have this momentum and have some confidence going into conference play, knowing that even when they're not playing their best, they can still find ways to win, it's a really good sign for this team. And a big weekend here, 2 home conference games, Niagara and Canisius. These are 2 big games they want to have. These are their only conference games before the calendar year ends. So a long break before they get back into MAC play. Big weekend for the Saints here.
Yeah, you can get them off to a good start. And yeah, like a game against Maine, who has really struggled this year, maybe you'd like that game to not be a 4-point game.
Sure.
But at the same token, like you mentioned, they're winning. And that's all that matters, and especially when you get into conference play. Yeah, they have the 2 games this weekend, Niagara, Canisius on Sunday. And then they're off for a little bit, and then they have Vermont and Indiana, which are 2 very tough non-conference games. But they are seemingly, it's not all about the results, but 7-2, 4 in a row, 5 in a row, 4-win week. Yep. 5 in a row. They're certainly in a good spot. When you look over to the UAlbany men, it's a little bit of an interesting spot because now they find themselves at 3-6, and like we were talking about at the beginning of the year, a lot of their non-conference games were challenging.
Right.
But their only 3 wins are against Division III teams or non-Division I teams against SUNY Delhi and Paul Smith's College, and they're most recently against Oneonta. They played Colgate close, and Colgate's a tough team. Siena fell to them at the buzzer.
Right.
That game against Siena was a good game. Fordham kind of controlled that game, a 20-point game. So they played Columbia at 5:30 on Saturday. I just feel like there's still a lot to learn about this team. Their schedule is a little bit interesting in the way that it's crafted. I think it's going to test them while also picking up some easier wins against Division III teams. But I think it's meant to test them when they get into conference play. But I just think that there's a lot of talent, but a lot to learn about this team still.
Yeah, I think this team kind of still needs to find I don't know if identity is the right word, but they got to find their way to win together when they're playing these Division I opponents. Like watching that Albany Cup game, you could see a lot of talent, right? OKK is dominant in the post when he gets going. Amir Lindsay, he was first team all-conference preseason for a reason. This guy can shoot the basketball. He can score. He's a great leader of this team. They have a lot of talent. I think they just need to put it together. And I think after that Albany Cup game, Dwayne Killings, the head coach of the team, put it pretty well. Siena's just further along. They know how to win these games. And essentially, this team just hasn't quite gelled into that winning formula yet. They still got to get tested.
And it's also a part of the transfer portal stuff where you have a lot of new pieces. And it's just, again, it's not just it's that. And also, again, just the difficulty of being able to read their schedule makes it a little bit more interesting as well. And then finally, the Albany women's basketball team, a team that is really, I think, finding their groove. They've won 5 in a row. They're now 7-2. Wins over Sacred Heart. Bucknell took them to overtime, but they were still able to pull out a game where, I would have to check the box score again, but they were down by, I think, 4 points with like under a minute or around a minute to go, and Laura Longerman hit some big threes for them in that overtime period. Yeah, they were down 4 with a minute 26, so to pull that off was another big win for them. And Amaya Stewart's been fantastic for them, another Rookie of the Week honor the week before. But this team is an example of one that, sure, they have a lot of new pieces, but they've seemed to kind of piece it together pretty quickly. I think maybe even a little bit quicker than head coach Colin Mullen even would expect.
Yeah, when we were going into the season, the sentiment and like kind of the thought process, it seemed from Coach Mullen, was defense is going to be there. That's what this team, bases their identity around. This is what the Great Danes are. They're a great defensive team. Offense will come. And, I think Amaya Stewart making a huge impact right out of the gate has kind of allowed them to get into that flow and get into that rhythm on offense. And I think everything's just gelling for this team really quickly, significantly more quickly than I think anyone expected.
Yeah. And their next game coming up is on Monday, also against Colgate, so on the road for the home game against Boston. Taylor Swift Day. I'll have to check that out. Move on to high school football. Saratoga Springs, our lone team left in the state championship game, which, if you said at the beginning of the tournament, they were 3 seed coming in. This is a Cinderella run that they'd be the lone team. So shout out to the Blue Streaks. And they have a tough one on their hands. There's no doubt about it. CBA Syracuse, who beat CBA Albany on a Hail Mary last year and then beat them a little more handily early in the season. So it's going to be a tough test at the Dome in Syracuse.
Yeah, absolutely. This CBA Syracuse team is legit, and they've proved it. They haven't lost a game since November of 2022. This team,
that's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time, folks.
It's 3 years. If you're doing the math at home.
As we are here.
If you're doing the math at home, that's 3 years.
That is 3 years. But you know what? This Saratoga team, they've been doubted the whole way. They went in as the 3 seed. They had to pull upsets just to get through Section 2. And, they've been the lower ranked team in all but one postseason game. And here they are, and they found a way to do it. This running game is spectacular. They love to play the underdog role, and they've gotten off to some quick starts. If they can do it again, it helps them greatly, because this is a really good CBA team from Syracuse that they're going to face on Saturday.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that we've kind of talked about, is just getting out to a quick start. They've done in their last 2 games. And because they are very reliant in some ways on running the ball, it's just what their identity is.
Yeah.
To be able to get a lead and be able to continue to run the ball rather than falling behind and feeling maybe like you need to press it a little bit more through the air. I think that quick start, putting CBA Syracuse on their heels a little bit as well, could be a big key for them. And that game is Saturday at 6 o'clock. Of course, we will have the highlights and reactions. So looking forward to that. And best of luck to the Blue Streaks.
Absolutely.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we're coming back, we got baseball to talk about. Mets and Red Sox.
Yep.
It's our favorite. All right, welcome back to 10 for 10, and we have some hot stove baseball to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
We will start. We just got some breaking news. It won't be breaking for you at home because
it'll be a day old for you
it's
guys.
a day old, but it's breaking news for us. Minor breaking news regarding the Red Sox.
Right.
We'll get to that in a second. We start with the New York Mets. They've been one of the more active teams thus far with the trade of Brandon Nimmo for Semien and now signing Devin Williams to a 3-year, $51 million contract. And it's not fun to be like, well, we got to wait and see. But again, we've talked about this before. It is very reliant on the moves that they make because they said this does not take them out of the running for Edwin Diaz. They're still very much involved. I think that they really want Edwin Diaz back. They don't want to give him a 5th year. It seems to be the hang-up. But the Dodgers are in on him. Blue Jays are in on him. If they do not bring back Edwin Diaz and Devin Williams is the closer, I will not feel very good. Now, they could still bring in like Robert Suarez or some other guys to fill out the back end. Maybe that means more bullpen pieces rather than top of the line. So there's still even some moves there that could be, okay, this is a little better. But in general, I would not be very happy with that. If Devin Williams is going to be a setup man or another high leverage reliever with Edwin Diaz, I love it because he showed last year with the Yankees, he did his best work in the 8th inning. He used to set up Josh Hader. And this is a guy who, he had a bad year with the Yankees and they were brutal on him, and I think rightfully so. He didn't pitch very well. But I think we've seen what this guy can be, and they deferred the money, so it's $15 million a year with $5 million each year deferred. I think it's worth a roll of the dice on this guy for what he can be.
Yeah, I think to bring this guy into the bullpen, I agree with you. I think if you're relying on Devin Williams to be your closer, it's not a great situation. But to bring this guy in to either be a setup guy or someone you can go to in the 6th or 7th inning in a high leverage spot, or even come in the 8th inning, even if he's not your everyday setup guy, the stuff still plays. It's still good stuff on the mound. He just couldn't quite find the location last year. He was a little all over the place. Listen, playing in New York, it's tough. He's going to do it again. But, the Yankees fans and media were quite critical of him. And like you said, rightfully so, the guy struggled right out of the gate last year. I remember we were watching their opening day game together, and he nearly blew it. And
well, and Pete Alonso may have broken him.
This is true.
With that home run, the game winner in Milwaukee in the playoffs the year before. He may have broken him, but now they could be on the same team.
Maybe.
I know you're hoping he's on the Red Sox, but Pete could be back. Maybe they're on the same team. Maybe that helps. I don't know. But I have heard that Williams, it seems like, can be a little bit, I don't know if head case is the right term, but can be up and down that way.
Guy needs his confidence.
He's definitely also can be very verbal with umpires. We saw last year getting frustrated. So I think he could be a guy who just needs a reset. And again, relievers are up and down a lot. It's a volatile position. But that's a guy who has the stuff. He's had seasons where his ERA, the 3 years in a row before the Yankees, his ERA was under 2.
Right.
So this is a top-end guy when he's at his best. It just depends where he is. We got to see about Diaz. The Mets are in on seemingly everyone.
Right.
We'll just see where it seems like they have backup plans for certain things. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, in an ideal world, this is a guy who you're not turning to in the 9th inning right out of the gate, where he can kind of ease his way back into the season and hopefully build up some of his confidence.
I just hate that it takes so long in baseball these days because it seems like we're just waiting, and some news trickles in, some news trickle. We might need like a deadline or something because it's like one of these moves get made. One of these moves gets made, and you're just waiting for the next one to be made because they do depend on each other. It feels like it used to be like a lot would happen at once and you could kind of digest it a little bit more because you're like, okay, I'm getting the picture of what they're doing. Now it's like, well, we'll see next month whether this was a good move or not. So that's kind of where we're at with the Mets. We'll move on to the Red Sox and we'll get to the news we just found out about in a second. But Sonny Gray, the newest Red Sox, their newest Red Sox is coming in bold and brash, I would say. It might be the way that I would put it. He was talking about his time with the Yankees, which just plainly wasn't good. He had
not go well.
4.9 ERA in his only full year there. He was a guy who's been deemed of, oh, he can't play in a big market. We're going to find out. He says it's easy to go to a place now where it's easy to hate the Yankees. He also, talking about the Yankees, said, I never wanted to go there in the first place. And he is stoking the rivalry.
Yeah.
As a Red Sox fan, like it, love it, don't like it.
Love
Your
it.
thoughts.
1000% love it.
Your thoughts.
Any new Red Sox, if you want to immediately make the fan base love you, just come out and say you hate the Yankees. It's a quick way to do it. Quick way to get the fans behind you.
It is a good way to get the fans behind you right now. He better pitch well.
He's got to back it up.
Because if he doesn't, I don't think that you're going to love it that much.
Yeah. Oh, he's got to back it up. I'll say this before we get to anything else. I love that this rivalry is like really starting to heat up a little bit again. Playing last year in the playoffs, and it's good for baseball when the Red Sox and Yankees are going at it all the time. I think it's great. I think. We talked about the Sonny Gray deal, and, we'll get to the state of the pitching staff in a second when we get to the next deal. But, I think I love it that this guy's coming in with fire, right? The Yankees are the team that knocked the Red Sox out of the playoffs last year. I think I'd like to think there are going to be a lot of guys in that clubhouse who don't have some kind feelings for the Yankees right now. And I like that there's some fire in it going into the year. And, I think for a team, when you got a vet coming in that, that understands what this is and understands the rivalry and has some motivation, I like it.
Yeah, I just want to say a couple of things to Yankee fans as well, because there are certain things. And listen, Yankee fans shouldn't like this.
Right,
especially
absolutely.
a guy who flat out stunk for you is all of a sudden like, well, I hate you. It's like, well, you stunk. So I don't really care about
Feeling
that.
was mutual.
So if we had Tommy Valentine here right now, who he's at a game right now, I debated having him call in. He would be very much on the other side of the fence. So that is obvious. But I will say, I've seen people posting like, well, when he got traded to the Yankees, he said he wanted to be there. It's like, well, what is he supposed to say?
Right.
The other one is, there was a clip that was when he was on the Reds, there was a clip that came out that said, oh, I'm a better pitcher when I became, for being a Yankee, I became better. People are like, well, you're not saying that now. If you watch the full context of what he said, there was a part in this longer answer about the Yankees where he did say that he felt like his time there, he learned about himself and he became a better pitcher because of it and shortly after it. So that context is still there, but context doesn't play on the internet very well. So this news that we just got is it's kind of tied to this in a way where we just found out that per Jeff Passan, the Red Sox have traded for, and I might mess up this guy's name because he's on the Pittsburgh Pirates, and I'm unfamiliar with his game at this point. Johan Oviedo, that's my best guess.
Yeah.
He's a 6'6", 275-pound righty, a starter. He pitched 9 games last year, 3.5 ERA. He's pitched 32 games the year before. He had a 4.3. He's a lifetime 4.2 ERA, broke in with the Cardinals in 2020. They traded the password. Do you know his last name is Garcia? Do you know how to pronounce his?
I'm not gonna.
We're just not gonna go there.
Not gonna attempt it.
We're not gonna go there. He's known as the password because I will spell his first name JHOSTYNXON. So if anybody knows how to pronounce that name, you can send us an email at sports@newsten.com. But for now, we're going to call him the password. The reason that this is kind of related is in the past, we have talked about the Sonny Gray move as if this guy's 3, 4, 5 starter, we like it. If they're bringing him in to be the second starter behind Garrett Crochet, maybe not so much. This move kind of feels like they just potentially filled or at least brought in competition for a back-end rotation spot. It could just be another arm, but does this lend credence to, is Sonny Gray viewed as the two?
I think it starts to concern me that they might be done on the starting pitching market. I think it's starting to look like the way that Breslow's building this out is he kind of looks like Crochet is Crochet. He's going to be your ace. That's not a debate. I think it's starting to look like they're going to hope that Brian Bayo can truly step into that number 2 role and that Sonny Gray and Oviedo are going to be, back into the rotation guys. I think it makes me concerned that they're done with the starting pitching. We don't know But the fact that
another thing we have to wait to see.
Yeah, another thing we have to wait to see. But the fact that they've now made two trades for starting pitchers, veteran guys, leads me to believe they could be done, especially because now it's starting to look like their money is going to be directed in free agency at bats, which it should be. But
they're hot on Pete Alonso's trail.
I
away from
certainly
Pete.
Hope so.
Stay away
but
from Pete.
Yeah, it's starting to concern me that
You've been warned, Brian. Stay away from Pete.
there's going to be some. There's going to be some unhappy campers in the sports department if
10
Alonso
for 10
goes
if
to
Pete
Red Sox.
Alonso signs with the Boston Red Sox is going to be must watch unless Tommy Valentine's filling in because I don't want to show up. Well, listen, again, we'll see if he leaves. We'll see what the other moves are.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's another wait and see situation, but it does kind of look like that where it's like if this guy is now a part of the rotation where it seems like they might be a little bit more complete.
It's also because they've made these two moves where you've given away some of the pieces that you would think they would look to trade away for starting.
Goodbye password. Enjoy Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Could Giannis be a Knick? We'll talk about it. All right, welcome back to 10 for 10. And the big report out of the NBA this week was Shams Charania from ESPN. I mean, he's the guy now that Woj is over at St. Bonaventure.
Bonnies.
Shout out Tommy Valentine's. Shout out St. Bonaventure. He's saying that Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to talk to the Bucks about his future and whether he wants to be there. They're not very good. I think I saw that they're 9-8 with him on the floor and like 1-5 or 1-6 with them not on the floor. They just don't have any talent to compete right now.
Yeah.
And apparently there have been multiple reports, Brian Windhorst and others, saying that Giannis wanted to be traded in the summer and specifically said, I want to be a New York Knick. Apparently the Knicks and the Bucks couldn't work out a deal. There are some reports from, I've seen Ian Begley with SNY, who is very tapped into the Knicks, saying that the Knicks are good right now and they want to stand pat and they want to see this team through and they're not interested in making a change. That would be insane. How often does a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is a top 5 player in basketball, maybe top 3 player in basketball, say, I want to be a New York Knick. I'm a 2-time MVP who wants to be a New York Knick. And I understand you don't want to blow it up. Like you'd probably have to send Karl Anthony Towns, and maybe you definitely have to send Karl Anthony Towns, and maybe wait until Mikal Bridges can be traded in I think it's February, or send to OG, which I wouldn't want to do. So I get it's complicated.
Yeah.
I think there's a way to do it without having to give up Mikal and OG, where if Giannis just plays hardball and says, nope, I want to be a Knick, that's it, then they might have to accept a lesser deal.
Right. That's
really the hope here. But even if they have to add in one of those guys, this is a move you have to make because it raises your ceiling. I think the Knicks can win a championship as currently constructed? I don't know. I think they're a very good team. I think they can win the Eastern Conference. Do I think they could beat a team like the Thunder? I don't know. But I think if you put Giannis Antetokounmpo on the floor with Jalen Brunson and you can still play Mitchell Robinson to keep him to play the 5 instead of Karl Anthony Towns, and you're a better defensive team. Yeah, I do think they can win a championship with that team.
Yeah, this is absolutely, if the opportunity is there to do it, the Knicks absolutely should, and they absolutely have to do it because everything we've talked about this team having the potential problem with, defense being one of those things when Kat and Jalen Brunson are on the floor together, you go get Giannis, that fixes that problem really quickly. And he's a championship player. This is a guy who's won a title with the Bucks. So you get the chance to bring in a 2-time MVP, and all of a sudden it's, like you said, the ceiling gets raised. They go from contenders in an Eastern Conference that's beat up and has a lot of injuries. So all of a sudden, the Knicks are probably the favorites in the East. And you give yourselves a fighting chance against whoever comes out of the West, whether it be the Thunder or somebody else.
Well, and I think some of the pushback could maybe be that I mean, you can almost make an argument, maybe not with the records right now, but just talent-wise, that they could already be a favorite in the East, if not the favorite in the East. It's a interesting discussion, but at the end of the year, they could certainly be there.
Right.
With Giannis, I think it would be a no-brainer. Obviously, depends on what they give up, but I mean, this is a guy, he's still 30 years old.
Right.
I mean, he's averaging 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists per game. He's averaged 30 the last 3 years, and I mean, 29.9 the year before. I mean, the guy is just ridiculous. I would be over the moon as a Knicks fan if they could get Giannis.
He's a franchise-altering
And you know what?
player.
If it thins them out a little bit this year, so be it. And next year, what's like if like what we'll still go for it. And if we find out we need more going into the year, there will be people who want to play for the Knicks.
Yeah.
Maybe on lesser deals.
Yeah.
Veterans, whoever it might be, to help fill out the roster. That is a later problem.
Yeah.
If you can get a guy in the NBA who is in the top 3 players, just do it, and we'll figure the rest out. I know that sounds a little reckless, but just do it. Just figure it out. And I will say, it's not just the Knicks. It does seem Sham said that it seems like it's going to be a little bit opened up. Like it's not going to be, oh no, I just want to play for the Knicks. So teams like the Spurs, which would be terrifying, would be involved because you could put Giannis and Wemby on the same court, and that would be just.
That would be scary.
I mean, I don't even know, how do you score? They could just put their hands up in front of the basket. You can shoot the three.
I think you're relying on the 3-point. You're not getting anything in the paint that night. That's for sure.
Then they have the pieces to do it, but then you have Harper out there. I mean, it's just that would be ridiculous. The Bulls could be a team that are involved. Could the Thunder be involved? They have a ton of capital. I don't know if you want to break that team up, but could they be involved? There are endless possibilities, but he's out 2 to 4 weeks with a calf. It seems like this is a good time for him to not have to answer questions from the media.
Right.
I'm not saying that he's not injured. He is, but it's just convenient, I think, for the Bucks for him he doesn't have to talk to the media while he's injured and figure this out. They could figure this out over the next couple of weeks and find a deal that they want. But it's seemingly impossible for him to be on the Bucks at the end of the year at this point.
Yeah, it seems like he wants to go, and the Bucks aren't going many places even with him. So it's probably time.
We're going to take a quick break. We've got NFL to round things out after the break. All right, welcome back to 10 for 10. We are on to the NFL, and we're going to start with the Patriots. Now, the Patriots just played the Giants, so these are a little bit hand in hand. Let's try to look at things through a Patriot lens as they go into their bye week. Patriots win 33-15. Not a surprising result.
No.
What might be surprising if you thought at the beginning of the year when the Raiders beat the Patriots and then the Steelers beat the Patriots, sandwiched in the middle was a Patriots went over the Dolphins. The Patriots have won 10 in a row, which is quite good. Going into the bye, and depending on what the Bills do this week, the Bills game out of the bye on the 14th could be a T-shirts and hats game.
Yeah.
That's when you have a division or something on the line that you get a T-shirt and a hat for. So they are lined up right now already to potentially clinch, and it's just more of the same for the Patriots. That game was never in doubt. They went up 17-0 in the first quarter. Sure, it was cut to 15 late, but this game was over. And this is a team that I think they're going to be the top seed in the AFC. I think the Broncos are kind of the two teams in the mix for that right now. And I believe a lot more in the Patriots. And I also believe in their schedule a lot more
Yes.
than the Broncos. So I mean, the Patriots are once again sitting pretty.
Yeah, I mean, here we are again. How many years did it take for them to get back to being one of the most dominant
Hello,
teams
darkness, my old friend.
Yes, as fans of other AFC East teams, we're not happy that the Patriots are back
But
here.
honestly, it is newer. Like, it doesn't feel like the same team. We'll grow to hate them again.
Yeah, of course. We were having this conversation a couple weeks ago.
And listen, we are objective journalists when we're talking about these teams, especially on the air. But, you know, I grew up a Dolphins fan hating the Patriots. And you grew up a Jets fan hating the Patriots.
Yeah.
They've died down. The Bills were kind of the top team in the AFC East for a little while, and now it's kind of interesting to see it flip a little bit again. So I
it's
think
never our teams, though.
No.
Of course not.
Except for Chad Pennington when he led the Dolphins and the Wildcat to the AFC East title.
We love Chad Pennington.
Never forget it. They got stomped by the Ravens. But yeah, I mean the Patriots are positioned as well as any team in football.
Yeah. I mean, you see this every once in a while where a team coming off a down year or down years finally clicks and they get it in a year where they're a really good football team and they're playing the schedule of a team that came in third or fourth, and all of a sudden they got a couple of easier games on their schedule. And that's what the Patriots have, and they're taking advantage of it. And I'm not discrediting them at all. They've also beaten the Bills. Like, they've proven that not only are they just beating up on bad competition, they've played teams who are expected to be good and are expected to be in the playoffs, and they're winning football games. And I think Drake May has grown to be one of the top quarterbacks in the league. And I mean, Mike Vrabel, I don't think we can say enough about how good of a coach he is and how fantastic of a job he's done with this organization in his first year.
Yes. And now that being said, they're still in great position. If the Bills win and they'd be 9-4, and then they beat the Patriots,
right?
All of a sudden, it's one game again.
One game.
So, not to get ahead of ourselves, but the way the Patriots are playing, that game's going to be at home.
Yeah.
Anything can happen, but you feel good about where the Patriots are at. And then they have the Ravens, who have not played great football, and they have the Jets, who are the Jets, and they have the Dolphins.
Who are the Dolphins?
Who are sneaky right now.
Dolphins?
Who are the Dolphins? But, you know, they could be playing for a playoff spot in that game.
Yeah, all right.
Technically, they could.
Well, technically, the Jets could be as well, so.
Oh, can they? Are they not eliminated?
They're not eliminated yet.
They're 3-9.
Still not
They're
eliminated.
3-9.
And the Dolphins are
8-9 is not getting it into the playoffs.
I'm well aware.
Okay.
I'm just
I don't think that's mathematically possible while they have not been eliminated yet. If every team in the NFL loses,
every team in the AFC loses games.
Even in AFC versus AFC games, the Jets can make the playoffs. Now, feeling great about the Patriots. Vibes are up.
Yeah.
And then we go to the Giants.
Vibes are definitely not up.
Giants, their vibes are not up. They lose their 7th in a row heading into their bye week. And while the Patriots are 11-2, they drop to 2-11. Dart plays pretty well. Again, if we're doing the Dart thing, Kafka, don't think he's really like taking this opportunity kind of by the horns and showing I'm the guy. So I mean, the audition is not overwhelming at this point for Mike Kafka either. Again, they also have talent deficiencies on offense. We saw Dart taking more hits because why not? He got crushed on the sideline.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest point with the Giants is Joe Shane speaking to the media for the first time since Dable was let go, and he always talks during the bye week. Very unfortunate bye week for the Giants that he had to talk after, going 2-11 and losing 7 in a row. And let me say that Joe Shane understands your question because he said, I understand the question.
He certainly understands it.
15 to 20 times during the press conference where, hey,
it's good to know that an NFL
why are things
GM
going terrible? Yeah. You know what? I understand your question. I understand the question. So Joe Shane understands your questions.
It's good to know that a guy who's an NFL GM, he understands it. He comprehends what you're saying. He knows what you're asking. He's just not really going to give you a great answer.
some of the beat reporters were just asking him things over and over again. He finally did get some answers out of him.
Yeah.
But just know, if someone ever says that they understand your question, I learned this by watching Joe Shane, they don't want to answer the question. They just understand the question.
When the media asks a question,
I understand it. I would like to not answer it, so I'm going to give you a non-answer right now. You can ask a follow-up, and I will once again understand that question. But he did say he understood the question about, Brian Dable got let go. He was held accountable. Why aren't you? And he said he understands the question. His hands are in it as well. And again, he said it's on me. He took accountability. Didn't really share what they're going to do differently. They're going to evaluate everything. It's the same things that you hear. And I get it. They're not going to specifically be like, hey, we're really bad at X, Y, and Z, and we need to be better. It was just a tough. It was not. I don't think that you left that press conference. I don't think you could say anything that would make you feel a whole lot better. I don't think you left that press conference feeling a whole lot better. And it is interesting to see whether they will keep Joe Shane. They kind of said that he was going to lead the head coaching search, but I don't know if they expected it to continue for the bottom to fall out like this. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's tough, and it's really not great that this is all coming on the heels of, I mean, listen, the Giants fought back, and they made it a 15-point game in the fourth quarter, but, I mean, they got dominated in prime time. National television, they got dominated by the New England Patriots. There's just no other way to put it. And, this team just, we've talked about talent deficiencies. They've been hit with the injury bug, but it's just, there are teams who have talent deficiencies, and I'll compare it to the Jets, who played in prime time against New England a couple weeks ago, and the Jets have a talent deficiency compared to the Patriots, but there was a fight there. There was a little bit more of a back and forth. They weren't just put on the back foot, and you could tell that the Patriots are a better team, and they went on to win by 2 scores, but the Jets just kind of had a little bit more fight to them, and I think the Giants it's just not really there yet. There's not much to give confidence other than the fact that Jackson Dart is your quarterback of the future. There's not much to give confidence to this team right now.
We've got to take a quick break in a second, but I do want to say this is the time coming out of the bye where if you're going to show some fight, if Kafka wants to show something, this is the time. They play the Commanders. Who knows if Jaden Daniels will play? We'll see. They play the Vikings, which has become a very winnable game because they have some of the worst quarterback play I've ever seen. They visit the Raiders. Shout out Geno Smith. Shout out they stink. And then they play the Cowboys at home, which is a tough game, but would be a great chance to steal one at the end and maybe keep them out of the playoffs.
Play the spoiler,
So this is the time. They had a very tough schedule. They've played the Patriots, the Lions, the Packers, the Bears, the 49ers, the Eagles, the Broncos, the Eagles. They beat the Eagles the first time. They've had some very tough games.
Right.
Now it eases up. We'll see what they can do. We're going to take a quick break. Jets next. Welcome back to 10 for 10, and we are talking Brian's New York Jets, who were victorious.
Yes.
Over the Atlanta Falcons.
Winning football games.
Oh, we had a lower third that we gave a shout out to Nick Folk, but it got erased, so we're not going to be able to use it because I was going to make a joke about the Jets win. Shout out the kicker.
Yes.
Player of the game, ball.
Yeah. Special teams.
Nick Folk, who
Jets
is,
do it.
I believe, 100 years old.
He played with Aaron Glenn.
He played with Aaron Glenn.
He
played with Aaron Glenn, which is remarkable with the Cowboys. He's 41. Shout out Nick Folk. He had a great game. He had the game-winning field goal. But this was a game where the Jets, I kind of felt good about the Jets in this game. I thought there was a spot that they could win. And this is one where it's like, yes, Jets fans, you kind of want them to lose, and I get it. But these are also culture-building moments where if Aaron Glenn is going to be the head coach, you want these guys to know how to win.
Yeah.
I don't. You could. You can look at it. The time they lost out on Trevor Lawrence. Well, Trevor Lawrence is not
Right,
a
he's
home
not
run.
spectacular.
So like those things don't work out.
Right.
Fernando Mendoza is no sure thing.
Yeah.
Win games. Just focus on winning games.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've said this rant before. I'm going to do it again. Stop complaining about winning football games. First of all, the Jets don't do it very often, so let's just enjoy it when they do. Let's just enjoy it when they win instead of getting embarrassed. Let's just enjoy it. Second of all, the Jets can blow the 7th pick just as easily as they'll blow the 1st overall pick. These are lottery picks. We talk about it all the time. You don't know what you're getting. Third, they have the capital to move back up if they want to. Fourth, the culture building is the biggest thing to me. Aaron Glenn is going to be the head coach of the New York Jets next year. They are 3-2 in their last 5 games. This team is starting to play, I don't want to say good football because they just don't have the talent to call it good football. They're playing sound football. They're fighting hard. They're winning the line of scrimmage. They're playing decent defense for the talent level that they have. They're finding ways to win games, and they're not committing the penalties. Everything we talked about them not improving on at the beginning of the year, they've turned it around, and I've seen some of these clips of Aaron Glenn mic'd up on the sidelines and hearing how he's talking to his players and how he's coaching this team. I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm hearing. I'm actually liking what I see from Aaron Glenn right now.
And he's definitely a rah-rah guy who can get the guys going. The more so is the X and O's and picking quarterbacks. But I do have a Aaron Glenn press conference moment of the week. But this time, and I wanted to use this positively for once.
Okay.
I liked what Aaron Glenn had to say this week when he was asked about, and I get it. You have to ask questions. And it's their job, so this is not a criticism of whoever asked the question about, what do you say to fans who want to lose these games?
Yeah.
That's not like them agreeing with it. It's just like,
Right.
what would you say to them? And Aaron Glenn's like, we are in the business of winning football games. Like, I don't have his exact quote pulled up, but it was very much like, we're trying to win. We're trying to build something here.
Yeah.
And I thought he was very well spoken on it and thought that it was a very good message that there are guys on this team that you hope to develop.
Yeah.
They need to know how to win. They can't just be bludgeoned by losing. And we've seen it with Garrett Wilson where this is a guy who is not playing right now, who has been a part of no winning.
Right.
And look how it has hit. Breece Hall looks like just stunned every time they lose a game. It's like, here it goes again. And it could be taxing mentally to never win. So you want these guys to experience winning.
Winning is good for a couple of reasons. Obviously.
I
like to win. Let's
Brian
win
Rudman
football games.
is going out on the limb.
You can quote me on that. I like to win. Listen, it's good. First of all, we hear coaches talk about learning how to win all the time. Yeah. Guys need to, especially when you have a young team you're trying to build, they need to learn how to win and learn how to close out games. That's what they're doing. You need to have that sense of belief that things will go the right way. Things will go your way. Like guys like Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson who have just lost over and over and over again. They've grown accustomed to losing in these close games. The Jets are finding ways to win now, which is good. It also gives you something to sell in free agency and in the trade market. Yes.
You might have seen the old lower third pop out for a second, so apologies. But I just needed to get that statement out there that Brian wants to win. And speaking of winning, we're both going to want to win. The Dolphins play the Jets this week. Obviously, I was kind of kidding about the Dolphins making the playoffs, but it is kind of a possibility. People are starting to talk about it. People are talking about it.
Other than you?
Yes, other Dolphins fans. Dan Orlovsky was shouting out the Dolphins. They're dangerous.
There you go.
Listen, the Dolphins have won 3 in a row. They're 5-7. They play the Jets. If they can beat the Jets, they play the Steelers. They play the Bengals. They play the Bucks. They play the Patriots. If you could win out, you could be 10-7. Yeah, you'd still have like a 20% chance of making it. It is highly unlikely. But it's possible. If you beat the Jets, which is very possible, and if you beat the Steelers, which looks increasingly more possible, then you still have to win 3 more. But the team at that point, is
you get some
it.
buy-in.
Yeah. So and they've done it before. A couple of years ago, they were under 500 and rattled up a bunch of wins, made the playoffs, got crushed.
Yeah. This is a coin flip game to me, honestly. Yeah. Dolphins on the road in the Northeast in December. It's never easy for them. Jets, not the more talented team, but at home, a little bit of momentum.
Dolphins won the first one. Usually these kind of teams split, so we'll see. Yeah. As much as I would love to talk about the Dolphins, we should squeak in. Only got a couple minutes left. We will talk about the Bills. And a big win for them over the team we were just talking about, the Steelers. They needed to have it.
Yeah.
And they just completely dominated the Steelers, 26-7. It was really in the second half that domination occurred. They were down 7-3 in the first half, where it was like, oh my God. Are they really is this happening right now?
Yeah.
Like, are they really gonna, drop another one and drop to what would have been 7-5, and then all of a sudden you're really starting to think about, can this team make the playoffs? In the second half, I mean, 23-0 in the second half.
Yeah.
They beat up Aaron Rodgers, who was terrible in the game, but he was playing with a broken left wrist. And Mason Rudolph was also horrible, over 3 with an interception. Not gonna get the job done.
No.
So not exactly an offense that's clicking on all cylinders, but they got the job done, and they ran the ball. 32 carries for James Cook, 144 yards. Almost like they should give the ball to their other best player other than Josh Allen. It is a revolutionary thought, and one that will be studied for decades.
Griffin said it here first, folks.
Run
the ball
it's
with
also
James
like,
Cook.
yeah, it's. I mean, I have been saying, like,
it's as
they get
groundbreaking
into
as
the red
winning.
zone, and they're like, we need Ty Johnson. Get him in the game. Ray Davis, you're in. James Cook, you're out. It's like, that guy we gave a lot of money to, and other than Josh Allen, he's our best player, we should probably give him the ball a lot.
Maybe. Might work out.
That's just a thought.
Just something to think on.
Keon Coleman caught a touchdown pass.
Yeah, hey, he's back.
Good for him. He had 2 catches, 9 yards. I mean, I don't know if you're getting overly excited about their receiving core again yet, but
no, I wouldn't.
It was good to see him take a step at least, but that I think is still going to be the biggest questions. I have questions about the Bills long term still.
Yeah.
They play the Bengals this week, which is not, with Joe Burrow, not
spectacularly
as easy as it
Yeah.
might look. It's a 5.5 point spread. It's in Buffalo, which is good for the Bills.
Yeah.
But
I think the one thing is the offense has got to get off to a quicker start. They can't have a half where they only put up 3 points, because the Bengals are going to score. They just are. Yeah. They're a good offense. They're a really good offense.
Yeah, their offense and the Bengals defense looked a lot better against the Ravens.
Yeah.
Whether that's the Ravens' problems or it's Bengals defense improving.
Joe Burrow effect,
see.
just everything. A little more belief.
I mean, we saw them play a lot better last week as a team. So this is not a game that's like,
it's not a walk in the park.
I love how when I was looking at it for the Dolphins schedule, I'm like, Dolphins could beat the Bengals. And then we're looking at it realistically. It's like, actually, they're pretty good with Joe
tough
Burrow.
game.
Actually,
Joe Burrow's
Burrow,
still playing
pretty
football
good.
now.
We're pretty good. I'm like, win in my metaphorical 10-7 Dolphins run. So yeah, that game is 1:00. But if they want any shot of catching the Patriots, and just to make sure they make the playoffs, and avoid a complete catastrophe.
Right. Yeah.
That's a game that they really have to win.
They're really all must wins at this point for the Bills to be where they want to be.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of 10 for 10. Thank you for watching here on the WTEN Plus app, and we'll see you next week.